So hi there, ladies and gents, welcome to Atlanta, Georgia in the USA. We are going to do a very short flight today to Asheville in North Carolina, which is only about 140 miles. So as you can see, we are in the 737-800. Seems to be plenty of traffic around. Weather today in Atlanta, not great. Tiny bit of blue sky, but apart from that, it's pretty overcast. No idea why our jetway, let's just say that's maybe broken. Anyway, I'm Pops. Let's have a quick look inside the cockpit and get ourselves out of here. So welcome to a very cold and dark PMDG 737-800. The only thing we have at the moment is some ground power selected. Everything else is completely switched off. I should say connected, not selected. We are going to first of all sort out our fuel and payload, and then we can get into the actual simulation itself. So menu button, hold it, and your FMC will come to life. Actions, so fuel in kilos, European plane, and we are doing a very short hop. So we're looking at 4.8 tons, and our zero fuel weight we will leave at 58.5. That seems fine for today. So we're going to jump in at the overhead, and first of all we are going to power up. As soon as we've done that, we'll put the emergency lights on so that they're armed, and we'll go straight to ground power so we're not draining the batteries. Let's just quickly set the IRS to be doing its work. That'll go to a line, and then we can move on down to our FMC and start telling the aircraft where it is, what to do, where to go, etc. So as we can see, the first thing our FMC would like us to do is tell the aircraft where it is. Wants us to set the IRS position here. If we go next page and click on the GPSL, it will put that position into the scratch pad. We can then go back here, press that, and it will disappear because it's got the information that it needs. Reference airport, we're at Kilo Alpha Tango Lima, not particularly needed because we've already given it a very precise position. So we'll move on from that. We're not going to put the gate number in because it hardly ever recognises them, but go for our route origin. So today we are going from Atlanta to Asheville in North Carolina, which is a very short hop, 140 so miles. So it's not going to take too long to get there. So we are looking at Kilo Alpha Victor Lima. Our flight number. Oh, clear with Mr. Letter. So Alpha Whiskey Golf 2048. Runway is actually 09 left we're using. And from there we can next page start thinking about our route. So we are departing we've already given it the runway, so it's the Smoky 2, which is that one. Transition via Smoky, so we don't need to worry about that. And then we are going to go to our route. Takes us there. From there we're going direct to Hotel Uniform Charlie Hotel, and then direct to Sugarloaf, which is Sierra Uniform Golf. And from there we are landing. So ILS 17. There's no start for this, so we're just going to transition via Shug, and that should give us our whole route. So we'll just check the legs to make sure that looks vaguely sensible. Yeah, happy with that. So moving swiftly on to our perf in it. We've already put the Zia fuel into the criteria, the payload criteria at the beginning of the process. So if we just double click that, we'll have 1.2 as a reserve. We'll check the cost index is 44 from this flight plan. Cruise altitude is 250. Transition altitude, we're in the States, so that can stay at 18,000. Let's just execute that. M1 limit. We're going to derate slightly because we're very light on fuel. Leave the climb as it is. Take off, flaps 5. Centre of gravity, that gives us a trim of 4.73, and we can put our VREFs in. So V2 is 145.
So let's take a quick look at the
MCP. We are heading 095 is correct for the runway we're using, which is 09 left. Altitude, I'm going to put that straight up to 250 because we're not using ATC. Uh, 145 was our V2. Never quite sure what you're supposed to put in here, but I'm going to go with the 20 plus theory. Flight director's on. We're in the States, so we'll leave the barometer in inches. Let's just put the correct amount in, and so it's 3017. Turn traffic on. We can live without everything else for the moment. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put the left aft fuel pump on, which will allow us to start the APU. Make sure the APU bleed is on. Isolation valve auto, which the engine bleeds off for the moment. Well, let's just start up the APU. We'll put lots of lights on. It's a bit grim out there. Okay. Now then, landing in Asheville. We're landing on runway 17. Elevation at the start of the runway is 2164. So let's put that in as 2150. We are cruising at 25,000, not that we'll be cruising for very long. APU bleed is on. Reset fans are on auto. Packs are off for the moment. Let's put some window heat on. Ignore the probes for the moment. Hydraulics can go on. We've only got one door open now. Emergency lights are already on. Let's just sit the people down. So now the APU has stabilized. We're going to switch power, make sure the APU bleed is on. We're going to switch power to the APU. Really should have checked there was a voltage coming out of it first, but there you go. APU voltage, APU generators giving us these amps, volts, etc. Okay, so what we could do now is let's just pop back down to the FMC, and from here we're going to go back to our ground services. We've got various things attached here, GPU car, the stairs, etc. If we just remove the wheel chocks, everything will start disconnecting. Doors, yeah, looks fine. Let's just go back up top. Yeah, the door's closed, chocks have been removed. One thing we do need to make sure we've done at this point is set the parking brake. If you click on it, it won't set. You need to press the toe brakes. Otherwise, you'll sit there forever trying to arm it. Go to the FMC, put the FMC on this side and just stick that on progress. Okay, so next thing I want to do is make sure the oil damper's on. Let's switch some fuel pumps on. Centre fuel pumps do not need to be on in this case because there is no fuel in the centre tanks. Obviously, with it being such a short flight, you would just obviously switch those tanks on if there is fuel in the centre tanks. Let's go back down to our MCP. Let's just arm the VNAV and the LNAV. What else do we want to do? Oh right, okay, we're not using ATC, so we have no idea what our squawk code would be. So we're going to go with 3714 for no reason whatsoever. I'm going to move this now to TARA. This is like everything else in this video. This is hugely non-procedural, not the correct way of doing things. But it's just my checklist that allows me to get off the ground and have some fun. Just going to make sure. You would ordinarily check your barometer from ATIS, or maybe even have a look online or whatever. You can of course just press B and it will put it to whatever the local pressure is in the simulator. So that's fine for now. We've got the engine display in the lower CDU. I'm going to set the trim, which was, if I remember, 4.73. 4.73. So 4. Yeah, we'll call that about that. What else? Let's make sure we've got some auto brakes on RTO, just in case we have to reject our takeoff. And then we'll just go and have a quick look outside, see what's going on in the world. So the weather hasn't cheered up much. I'm going to delta coming in there. So everything seems fairly clear for us to start moving around. So what we're going to do is, we are going to hit the microphone with our hand, which probably sounds really loud. Okay, we're going to push back. We're going to turn tail to our left, and then we are going to get these engines started. So let's shift P.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by. Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
A lovely bit of animation. Just the little things that make it more realistic.
Standing by for pushback. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Okay, time to release the parking brake. To do that, we just tap the toe brakes
Parking
again.
brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Okay.
You will start in the sequence.
Blimey, coming out of here like a rocket. Okay, we are going to change our engine start on our number 2 engine to ground. Ground. At which point we should see things start to come to life. And what we're looking for is the figure 2223 down here. At which point we'll throw some fuel in. Let's just try and line this up in some sort of sensible fashion. Oh, come on, Pops, you can do better than that.
Okay, pushback complete.
Close.
Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake, again, won't work. Toe brakes will work.
Parking brakes set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Okay, it's not quite straight, is it? But
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
thank you and indeed goodbye. Okay, so we've got good start on engine 2. Engine 2 to continuous, engine 1 to ground, and again we're waiting for this to go up to something in the region of 22, 23, at which point we will throw some fuel in. Well, we will if we press it in the right place. Just want to make sure it all sparks into life. So another quick look outside, make sure there's nothing. Oh dear. Yeah, we missed a bit, didn't we? We're playing the tow truck guy. Okay, engines are up and running. We'll just check our final things on overhead and then we'll be ready to start taxiing. Okay, so back up to the overhead, we are going to make sure we've got the engine bleeds on. We're going to transfer the generator to the engines, at which point we can put the APU bleed off. put the packs on. Runway and taxi lights on. APU can go off. Just make sure both engines are generating something. Yeah. It's all fine. Recirc fans are on auto, packs are on, isolation valve is auto, APU bleed is off, engine bleeds are on, hydraulics on, probes on. Okay, time to do a bit of a taxi. Let's get the parking brake. Let's touch the toe brakes and that'll come off. Do want to put the flaps down to 5. Oh, that might be more than 5. Auto throttle on. Let's just set the crew down and we'll gently start off. So this, we're at Atlanta. This is Concourse A on, we're coming out south. And here we're going to turn onto through Lima. No, we're not going to turn onto Lima. Just check those flaps. Yeah, it went down to 5. Just felt like it had gone a click too many and was going down to 10, but that's fine. Okay, we're going to turn at the end. We're going to go right the way down past Lima 1, which is this. We're heading for the car park. Come on, round you go. And we're just going to hold here for a second. Brake on and just have a quick check around to make sure we've got everything where we expect it to be. So flaps are down, carriage is down, so we're going to put our taxi lights off and our landing lights on, make sure everybody's sat down. Auto throttle is on. Lights, we need position and strobe from here, so that's going to be up and up. Continuous, that needs to be on continuous. Start the clock. Okie dokie. Takes off. We'll assume we've got some sort of clearance. There is traffic coming in, but that's on the far side, not this runway. Okay, pretty much on a roll, so let's go for it. Toga, throttle forward, otherwise it will just reject it at 80 knots. Yoke forward.
3 knots.
We're at 80. Yoke release. Try and keep it a straight line.
Rotate.
And we've got rotate. Whoa.
Positive rate of climb.
Okay. We're over 1,000 feet. Let's just go autopilot. Let it sort it out. We can pack the landing gear away. We'll turn some runway lights off and some wheel lights off. Auto brake can go off, flaps coming up, flaps can go all the way up now. Just let the colleagues do their thing. Turning in, we're now over 10,000. So we'll turn the landing lights off, the logo lights off. So a proper look. Wing lights can go off. So we've got position lights on, anti-collision lights on, the landing lights are now off, runway and taxi lights are off. And we're over 10,000 feet, so we'll let our paying customers have a wander around for as long as they can on this very short flight. So looking at the progress page, it is only 196 miles. 30 of which we're going to be climbing. So there'll only be 165 miles to go once we've finished our climb. $16,000. Building our speed up. We're nearly at our transition altitude. So 18,000, press the standard button, standard appears here, and now hopefully us and anybody else flying around near us, hello moon, will now be using the same pressure. So that's it for the moment. Let's just let that get up to cruise altitude. Okay, ladies and gents, I think we're going to leave it there. It's been long enough, so please stay safe. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again soon.